Should you network? And if so, how should you network? That's the part people do not talk when glorifying network. You can have 100 contacts and still no one willing to vouch for you. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sack Talk. At some point, we all get told the same thing. You just need to network more. Go to events, talk to people, add connections, follow up. And on paper, it sounds smart. But in real life, networking can feel awkward, fake, and annoying, honestly. And it may feel also like everyone is just asking you for something. So everybody's just like out there to get something out of you. So today I'd like to talk about something more nuanced, which is yes, networking can work, but it has to be genuine. Do not overdo it, do not force it, do not do it just because you think you're gonna get something out of other people. Also, because having a lot of connection doesn't actually mean that people will show up for you or give you an opportunity. Before we criticize networking, I want to be fair. Psychology actually supports the idea that connections matter. There is classic research showing that a lot of job opportunities come from weak relationships or from weak ties. So basically, people you don't know that well. So basically, your friends know the thing that you know pretty much. Although acquaintances, they have different information, different opportunities. They're basically connected to different worlds. So from a purely psychological, sociological standpoint, networking actually works, or it can open doors. And yet many people actually hate networking, even people who are good at it. There is actually a study showing that when people network just to get something out of people, they do feel guilty about themselves and it doesn't feel morally right. Not because they did necessarily anything wrong, but because the interaction feels instrumental. Like I'm talking to you just because you're going to be useful for me. I'll give you some anecdotes. So I know many people who are actually very good at networking and they love networking and they think that they're actually going to get something out of people. Now, the people I know who do that, one of them, people actually try to avoid her because they know that every time they have an interaction with her, at the end of that interaction, she's going to ask you for a favor. And so that feels like, so every time people see her, I literally see the same reaction that I have when I see her, which is, oh no, please don't talk to me. Like, because she always networks with everybody, which it did get her a little bit far in her career. I mean, not that far, but a little bit far. So she did get some opportunities. However, the people around her, even people who don't know her very well, like acquaintances, feel the reaction when they see her. So you don't want that because sure, it can work in the short term because people don't know your intentions at first. But then once you keep asking for favors and favors, then people will have that reaction to you and you don't want that. Now, there's another person I know who he's also great at networking and people actually like him. And he did get some opportunities out of the people he was talking to. However, he never really got that far. Like, he's not really a successful person by any means. And you might think, well, success doesn't mean that someone has to have a career. Well, no, it's not about a career, it's about being satisfied with your own life. And so, sure, research shows that networking and being extroverted will help you get certain opportunities, certain jobs. However, I don't think that, first of all, I don't think it's good for your soul. Second, I don't think it will get you that far. I think genuine conversations and genuine connections will bring you farther away than actually trying to network with everybody. And I feel like that's what happened to me. Like every time I got an opportunity, it was because I was at the right place at the right time. And that individual had literally something very in common with me, and then we were able to, do something with that together. And it's interesting because it is really true in the sense that we don't know the background of a person when we enter a room. And for some reason, we end up having a conversation that is like, oh, wow, we are interested in the same things, we are in the same career field. And then you get kind of an opportunity, or you both help each other, but that was genuine. Like you didn't know that person and you did not go and have a conversation with that person because you knew their background or you knew that they were gonna give you an opportunity. It was just because you were at the right place at the right time. And so my suggestion to you guys is that do not try it. Do not try to force networking on you, especially if you're an introvert and you don't like networking. Sure, I will try to push you to maybe try and talk to people or hang out a little bit more. However, not forcing yourself to a point where not only if you feel guilt, but also it doesn't feel good. Like after you have a conversation, you feel like drained and you feel like, oh no, like this wasn't good. And again, I don't think that people who network very hard because they want something out of other people are gonna get that far. They might get some opportunities. However, if they end up meeting with a person that has to sign a deal with them and they feel like that person is not genuine, I don't think it's gonna go through. Psychologically, this makes sense because humans have really strong internal rules about reciprocity. We don't mind helping, but we don't like feeling used. When someone constantly asks us for like favors or anything without first building trust or balance, our nervous system goes into protection mode. We start thinking, if I talk to this person, I'm going to owe them something. And instead of confronting it, you will try to avoid it altogether. That's the part people do not talk when glorifying networking. Here is the part I think matters the most. Connections are not the same as relationships. You can have 100 contacts and still no one willing to vouch for you. People don't seal deals, give referrals, or stick their reputation on the line for someone just because they've talked to them once. They do it for people they trust, people who feel real, people who did not immediately ask for something. So, networking may get you access. However, trust gets you advocacy. So, yes, networking may work, but only when it's rooted in genuine human connection. People don't avoid networkers, they avoid feeling like a resource. And the moment you start treating people like a person instead of a stepping stone, everything changes. And that is when networking stops being fake and starts being real. So, yeah, if you have been networking for years and you never really got anything out of it, and you think it's just because you have to work harder and not work harder and be even more extroverted, stop. Just stop it already. It's not the fact that you did not network enough. It's just the fact that people think that you may not be a genuine person and that you are there just to get something out of them. And so that is why you may not be in a position where you want to be. And yeah, this is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, put a like, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think.